Hi everyone, you alright? Yeah, another video from my bedroom at the moment because I was going to do a video today, but I decided not to because it was absolutely freezing. It was absolutely perishing it were, and it still is. It looks like we're going to have another storm. And I feel really, really sad for all those people on the East Coast, especially in the Newcastle area. Well, I'm a bit disgusted, really, about these energy companies because nearly over a week without electricity. But the major problem is with that, you need electricity to pump the gas, and it's not a good thing. So I just hope that gets sorted out. But we're getting another batch of inclement weather tonight, and we've had quite a large winter shower here in Blackburn, and yeah, it was on and off, on and off, on and off. Alfie, our guest, is sat he's in the living room. George is with him, and yeah, so I've just left them to it. Yeah, I went for a walk round town today. To tell you the truth, folks, it's with the weather and everything. It looked grim. It really did look grim. That's the announcements going on my tablet there. Yeah. It was a sort of rush at the moment, and what I did notice what was happening is that the Mouse staff were gently and politely asking people to put their masks back on before they come into the centre. Yeah, this virus is not going to go away. So, well, hopefully it will do sooner or later. They're talking about new travel restrictions for people, and it's just one of those things that's happening. I'm just hoping that the people who are coming into the country are managing to get hotels, because for what I've been hearing, there's been quite a substantial amount of people coming in, and they've been told to quarantine and all that sort of stuff for so many days. They're not cheap, these hotels. Not at all. I think at one time they absolutely, totally, I think it was at London Gatwick, down the street, they'd completely run out of rooms. They'd had nowhere to put them, and it's the airport area that is absolutely crammed with people who are self-isolating in hotels. They're having to send the passengers further out because there's no hotels for them to actually go to. Yeah, so they had to scramble and find hotels for these people to go to because they had nowhere to go, you know. And it was to acquired by law that they had to, because I've got a funny feeling that more draconian restrictions will be coming in soon. And I really do feel that Christmas isn't going to be Christmas again this year. I thought that there were going to be bit of a normality really, but no, it's not going to happen, folks. The government have basically admitted that what did they say? That the booster jab thing could end up being an annual thing, of each mutation of this the things that's going on, and it's not good. It's not good. It's like what I said in my last video. I reckon this has been engineered, and well, that's that. So it's going to be like the flu jab. Yeah, not good at all. Not good at all. I just had a look at Stephen's video. Take a walk on the Wild Sides video. Riding the Illuminations. I tell you something. That guy's videography, I must admit, it gets every time he does something like that, his videography gets better and better every time. I must admit, a lot of the Blackpool bloggers are like building Blackpool better. Colin, his productions, quite a lot of their productions are getting better and better each time. And what I put it down to is experience that they're getting doing this, and what the other thing, what you've got to think about when you're putting up a blog, is that blog going to be up there for quite some length of time? You're going to think back. It's a good way of think back of what you've done in the past, and also it can be a form of skills that you will get for doing blogs and stuff. Sometimes you get a bit more forward thinking and talking about certain subjects, and it also helps you with communication skills, really. Yeah, I really enjoyed Colin's video, and I also I like watching a lot of people's stuff, Beyond the Edge and all that. But one of the major things I'd really do think about is that Blackpool featured on a list of late, the 10 worst, the worstest place to live in England. Excuse me about that. Just getting a bit of refreshment. And it came in, shall I say, 5th or 6th. The only worst place to beat Blackpool was Rochdale and Oldham of places. Yeah. But back to the videographers. Everybody seems to be up in their game. I haven't had a look at Helen's Crowd Loud and Proud blog yet, because I don't think he's put one up for quite some time. If anybody knows how Leroy is, tell him his audience is missing him, and let him know. Anybody, PT Blogs, that's another one. He does mainly travelling fairs, and I think there's another one. Visit Fylde Coast. Who else? Leica, and there's quite a fair few bloggers in Blackpool. But one of the major things it pointed at, it said, well, what they said on the worst places in Britain, it said that Blackpool was a rather run down, grotty area, especially when you get. It says it's all right looking at the seafront and all that, but he said that if you go around the back streets of Blackpool, it is rough as anything. It says it's in a lot of that area is worse than some of our inner city areas like Manchester. I think it was Manchester, Oldham, Rochdale, and one or two other places in Manchester. Didn't say anything about Salford, because Salford is basically climbing up the ladder of late. They have got a contract to do the new Clippers Quay development. Bolton's projects are, shall we say, they're getting there, but they're on the slow side. And Preston's new tower block, well, quite a lot of it's fairly up, but they've still got a lot to go on that, and it's taken them a bit longer than they thought due to the weather. It does get pretty, where it's situated, it is a bit open, and it can get pretty windy where it is, and it does have another tower block next to it. How those people in that tower block are going to feel when a residential block of flats goes up, and it's going to be different for them, shall we say, because instead of like just having an office there or next door, they're going to have an apartment block a tower block put up there for people to actually stay, live in. Imagine waking up early morning. You stick your head out. You stick your head out from round your curtains, and you see an office block, and and people are looking out the windows, and they get a bit of an eyeful. Um, because it is quite a short distance away from where they are, and hopefully if the weather gets better, that should it should start getting done a little bit quicker. One thing I have noticed in Blackburn, the one of the two, I think it's two tower blocks. The two tower blocks at Lark Hill, I've noticed that quite a large section of scaffolding has basically gone on the upper floors. It's looking like they're taking the scaffolding down, getting ready to do the next job. And I think that next job will be, shall we say, St Michael's Court, because they were thinking about having the outsides done, giving them a good cleaning up and everything. To be truthful, those flats, they look a bit tired on the outside, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens, because they're having major work done inside, because they're basically going to geothermal heating, and there's been a lot of brouhaha and controversy about that. Together Housing, who own the tower blocks, they own quite a fair few in Blackburn. They're spending a fair bit of money on St Michael's Court and the others, and I think the next stage of that, once they've done all the internals, I reckon that it'll be the externals next. To be truthful, they're going to try and make them look a bit more pretty, because they sat there on a plot of land that is, shall I say, exposed. But there are a number of rumours at this moment in time that so I've got Create and Craft pointing at the television there. Shouldn't do that, because just in case I get a copyright strike. So basically they're going to clean all the outside of the tower block. And that'll be it. But the major thing I really do feel what Blackburn did wrong was to take one of the tower blocks down and put a low level housing development there. To be truthful, they should have just left the tower blocks alone and just done them up, and increased the. Because if you go to St Michael's Court, if you try applying for a flat at St Michael's Court, the major stipulation is, when you apply for one, you have to be over 50 to even get let's say if you live in a tower block with Together Housing at St Michael's Court, they have a special request that you be over the age of 50 to acquire a tower block flat through Together Housing. And I must admit, they're not cheap. Oh no, they are not cheap. Hang on a minute. Yeah, they're not cheap to have. And, well, we'll see what happens with them. So hopefully tomorrow, if weather permitting, we're going to get a video. Hopefully. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. It was, as I said, it was a bit wet and wild today, but we'll see what it's like tomorrow. It might be even wet and wild tomorrow, but we'll just have to roll that dice and see how it goes. So, yeah. So one of the other things, folks, keep buying stuff and make sure your cupboards are full, because I've almost filled my cupboard up with stuff. Well, for one of several, shall we say. And I'm going to go down tomorrow when I'm out. I'm going to go and buy some more stuff for the freezer. And I managed to yank a loaf of bread out and well, I went on the microwave chips today, so I used those up. So I just hope everybody's keeping safe and everything. We'll just have to wait and see how this situation is. But I've been hearing on the grapevine that there are people in the Blackburn area are not too happy about the reintroduction of masks. As I said, I saw it today well, I did see it today when I was out and about. People are getting a little bit Nancy about it, but the thing is, what we should do is basically get these people in some PPE, take them up to the hospital and show them what's really going on. Even a visit to the dead house. And because I have a friend who works up there, and he was basically telling me that Royal Blackburn was thinking of hiring a couple of freezer trucks to put bodies in, because people were just dropping like flies. But they don't really say anything about it on the news, because bad news is not so good. The waiting times for handovers from ambulances got longer. He was saying that some people were having to be treated in the back of the ambulances themselves. They had to bring equipment in from the A&E department, and they had to. Ambulances have something called a tethered line, and this tethered line plugs in. Fire appliances have them as well. And what it basically does, this tethered line, you plug it in to the side of the vehicle, because ambulances and fire appliances they only have so much. They have to have their engines running to produce power, and if they run out of, and one of the things they have to look out for is to make sure that the vehicle doesn't run out of fuel, because if you don't have any fuel in your vehicle, in your tank, a full tank of fuel, what generally happens is most ambulances have electrical systems which drives some of the equipment inside, like defibrillators and heart monitoring equipment and stuff like that. And sometimes to keep the defibrillator charged up. And that's what those landlines what are plugged into the side of ambulances and fire appliances. That's what they do. It's to keep the charge up for when they're basically not moving. That's the reason why when you see them parked up at the hospital and you see this cable running down and plugged into the side of them, that means they're charging up. They're charging up because so a lot of the equipment has a battery in it. So defibrillators have and monitoring equipment and stuff, and air pumps and stuff, so that sometimes they have to generate air and stuff, especially because you can't just rely on the oxygen tank that it's carrying. So that's the reason why you see in some circumstances that the ambulances are tethered to an electrical cable to keep them charged, to keep the batteries charged up, because they have more than one battery, does an ambulance, to keep its electrical systems running for a certain amount of time, and it's not very long. But this is the reason why they have that sort of landline cord sort of thing plugged in. So yeah, and 16 hours waiting for a transfer at a hospital is quite a long time, or 6 hours, is a long time. And I've noticed that, I think it was Royal Bolton at one stage had to turn ambulances away, and they had to go to another hospital. I think it was Salford Royal, and it was another hospital anyway. They were sending some to Blackburn, but Blackburn turned round and told them not to send any more ambulances across with patients, because they had basically nowhere to put them. And the other thing was that they were sending. Burnley wasn't so bad at one time, but for what I've been hearing now, the situation at Burnley Hospital is quite bad, and even they're struggling for beds now, and it's quite bad everywhere. So what I'm going to say to you folks, try and keep yourself in good nick and all that. If you're feeling slightly under the weather, don't go calling an ambulance, because there'll be someone more needing than you. Try the 111 service and see how you get on, and if needs be, just ring 999 for or if you live in the Lancashire area, try this one. There's something called the East Lancashire Medical Service, and you could they're an out of hours medical service. Not many people know about this service, but the mobile medics, and yeah, they can do certain things for you, and medications and stuff like that. Maybe give you diet, because a lot of them are ex-paramedics and stuff like that who have basically left the service, and there are one or two doctors who work for them as well, to earn a little bit of extra money. Right, I'm gonna get going now because I think I've talked enough, and I need a drink a pop now, and yeah. So from now it's 3, 2, 1, click.